brushing your teeth, carving a pumpkin, going sledding, going fishing. So what we're going to do with this game is I'm going to click on one, and what you're going to have to do is, let's start with fishing. What we're going to have to do is, there are a bunch of different steps for how to go fishing. Look. Everyone see? Okay, and it says direction. Uncover the hidden picture by putting the terms in order. Enter the numbers 1 through 7 in the field provided. So what we have to do basically is I'm going to have you guys come up and you're going to try and number each of these sentences from 1 through 7, okay? And we're going to have to put them in the right order. And if you do it correctly, when we check our answers, it's going to display the big picture behind all of the sentences, okay? So I want, Junior, can you read each one of these for me, just so everyone can hear it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead. Start with put a worm.
Put a worm or minnow on your book hook. Get your fishing gear ready. Fishing rod, bait, hooks, etc. Throw the fish back or save it for supper. Cast your line out into the water. Wait for a fish to bite. Reel the fish in. Go to the lake or river.
Good. Okay. So we're going to look at this, and I want you all, someone raise your hand if you think you can find the very first step that we would take. Which event would be the very first one? Skylar, come up here for me. I'll let you do it. I want you to click on the box. It should come up with a little text box. Whichever one you think is number 1, what do we do first? Yeah, try and click. And then click on the keyboard. And then you're going to put the number 1. Good. And then you're going to hit the X on it. Good. All right. Thank you. Does anybody see the second step in what we would do? Go ahead. Which one do you think is number 2? All right. Good. Pass it to somebody else. Who thinks they know the third thing we're going to do? So we have get your fishing gear ready. Then we have go to a lake, pond, or river. Okay, what's next? All right. Who wants to do number 4? Tiana, go ahead. Be thinking. I want you to put, as you look at how everybody orders them, I want you to be thinking about this in your head. Think about if you went on a fishing trip. Would this be the order? Okay, so you have put a worm or minnow on your hook. What's next after you do that? You got to click on right here. And then click the paper. Put a number 4. Good. All right, so we have get your fishing gear ready. Go to a lake, pond, or river. Put a worm or minnow on your hook. Cast your line out into the water. Turquoise. Who's yours number 5 is? Would it be to wait for a fish to bite?
Miss Moss?
Hey, Miss Lewis.
Is Bentley present today?
No, Daryl has not been here for 2 weeks straight, Miss Lewis.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Tori, come do number 6. All right. Adriana, come to left. Throw the fish back or save it for supper. Good. I'm going to try it one more time. All right. So I'm going to read this in order that you guys put it in, okay? It says, so if we're going on a fishing trip, this is the order that you guys said. You said you would get your fishing gear ready first off. Then we would go to a lake, pond, or river. Then you said we would put a worm or minnow on our hook. Cast your line into the water. Wait for a fish to bite. Reel the fish in and throw the fish back or save it for supper. Do you think we can check our answers? Does everyone agree with this? Is there anyone who disagrees? No? Yes? Speak up if you do. Alright, well, let's check it. Let's see. Let's see. You win! Good job, guys. Alright, so you got this one. This is a picture of, I guess, a man and woman in a very old car, right? Interesting. Alright, so let's do another one. What about, let me see. Alright, which one do you guys want to pick? I'll let y'all pick one. Do you want to do, oopsies. Let's do either making pizza, making popcorn, or making toast. Why not?
Making pizza.
Pizza? That's the first one I heard, so let's do making pizza. Alright. Okay. Same thing. Uncover the hidden picture by putting the terms in order. Enter the numbers 1 through 9. So this one has 9 different steps to making a pizza. Okay, I'm going to read them out loud for you first. It says, eat and enjoy. Make the crust and spread it on the pan. Put the pizza into the warm oven. Spread the tomato sauce onto the crust. Wait for the pizza to bake. Get all ingredients out to make the pizza and preheat the oven. Take the pizza out of the oven and turn it off. Cut into pieces and put on the cheese and any other toppings. All right. So, Jonathan, I want you to come put up here. Which one do you think is the first step to making a pizza? Good try. Good. Pass it on to somebody else. Who wants number 2? Let's see. So first you got to get all the ingredients out to make the pizza and preheat the oven. What would be next? Okay, so you think. All right. What's number 3? So you say get all the ingredients out and then make the crust and spread it onto the pan. You thinking in your head? After we make the crust, are we gonna put the pizza into the oven? Are we going to cut it into pieces? Are we going to spread tomato sauce onto the crust or onto the bread? I'll put it one more time. Go down a little bit. Yeah, there it is. All right. Tiana, come to you with the next one. Alright, so we have, get all the ingredients out to make a pizza. Then make the crust and spread it onto the pan. Put the pizza in the warm oven. Alright, so we still have an eat and enjoy. We have spread the tomato sauce onto the crust. Wait for the pizza to bake. Take the ingredients off. And 2 other ones. So if you guys disagree with something, I'm going to let you be in charge. What do you think? Tiana, tell me your thinking. Well, okay, well, instead of, after we made the crust, what do you think we would do next, maybe, instead of that? Is there something before we have to put the pizza in the oven? Who agrees with that? Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Okay, let's try it. Since the majority of class, try it. Erase the 3, and then we'll put, you can just erase it, I think, and hit delete. Yeah. Good, and then wherever you think we should put the 3, type it in. I think it's good. All right. Number 4, Junior, come do it. What are you thinking? Good. All right. So we have get all the ingredients out. Make the crust and spread it onto the pan. Spread the tomato sauce and then put the cheese on. All right. Yasmin, you want to do the next one for us? What do you think we have to do after we put the cheese on and any other topping? Do we put the pizza in the oven, eat and enjoy? Wait for the pizza to bake, or take the pizza out of the oven and turn it off? So make sure you read all of them. After we put the pizza in the warm oven, what are we going to do? Number 6. All right. We're almost finished. We're going to see if we did it right. 7. Jordan, do you want to do number 8? Yeah. Good. All right, Chiquez, come do the last one for me. There's only one more box left to go. Okay. Let's try to do it. There you go. I think it's 8, I think. It's 9? Okay, sorry. All right, let's see. All right, so somebody, let's see. We have get all the ingredients out to make the pizza and preheat the oven. Then make the crust and spread it onto the pan. Then we would spread the tomato sauce, put some cheese on it. We would put the pizza into the warm oven, wait for the pizza to bake, take the pizza out of the oven and turn it off, cut it into pieces, and eat and enjoy. If you pictured that in your head, is that how you would picture making a pizza? Is that how you would picture the process going? You could see yourself doing each of those things? Okay, well let's see. If you're all right. You got it. That's a picture of some flowers. Okay, so for the sake of time, good. I'm just gonna lower it. All right. So, somebody want to get the lights on? Thank you. All right. So today, what I just had you guys do, does anyone know what we just did? What a word for it is? Skylar, what do you think that was called? Just take a guess. You were putting it in sequence. Good, in sequential order. Sequential is just another way to say sequence. So when we sequence things, what are we doing? Carolyn, what are we doing when we put things in sequential order? What are we doing? I mean, I kind of gave you the answer. You're right. I did. We're putting things in order. Okay. So today, I want you guys to think about what are some things that we put in order. You saw some examples from the game. What, David? What are some things that we can put in order?
What we had said yesterday about the baby, you gotta walk first. I mean, you gotta crawl first.
Very good.
Then you gotta run first.
Very good. Yes, so yesterday we talked about how, in one of the reading passages we had, they talked about how babies have to always walk before they run because it's a process. And we talked about how in life, things are always usually done in a process, right? And if you ran before you walked, would that go well? No, it doesn't make sense, does it? It wouldn't work. You're right. So what's something else that we could maybe think about, a process or steps that we put in order? Deontay, go ahead.
Making a snowman.
Making a snowman. Good. You have to take steps to make a snowman. Tiana, give us one more.
Making a cake.
Making a cake. Good. So recipes in general, right? If you have to make a cake, you first got to get all the ingredients out, right? Because what if you put the pan in and you didn't have a cake? That makes no sense, does it? Right. So we can sequence a lot of different things. And today, there's something else that we're going to talk about. You can actually, how many of you have ever sequenced events from a story? I know that we've done it before because in the morning we do it. So in a story, there's usually beginning, middle, and end, right? Yeah. So what if I had a story and I said, meet my friend John. John loves to play baseball. He went to college, or he goes to college, and he plays baseball on the major leagues. And then I told you, when he was 5, he loved to play baseball so much. Then he went to high school, and he got on the All-Stars team. Is that kind of confusing to you? Does that kind of seem like out of order if I said, he went to college and then, oh, but when he was 5, he played baseball. Oh, but then when he went to high school, he blah, blah, blah. It's a little confusing, isn't it? It gets confusing? Right. So when we're putting things in sequential order, it helps us to understand things a little bit better, okay? And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at a book and we're going to put things in sequential order from our story, okay? So, let me see, let me find my book. How many of you have heard of The True Story of the Three Little Pigs? I like this book. I think it's fun. Grab it. It's okay. The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. Can everybody see? If you can't, it's okay. Alright, as I begin to read this story, I want you all to pay attention because at the end, I'm going to have us retell the story, okay? So you got to listen up for it. So the true story of the Three Little Pigs. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think that they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it is all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault that wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. It says this is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without my cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake.
Valeria Griffin and Conietta Taylor, please report to the main office.
That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed, and I puffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. Achoo! And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down, and right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. It had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe this, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing that there was to do. I had dinner, again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awful.
Ms. McGregory, please call the main office.
But my cold was feeling a little bit better. and I didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake still. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the house. No answer. I called, "Mr. Pig, are you in?" And do you know what that rude little porker asked? "Get out of here, wolf. Do not bother me again." Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on again. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed a great sneeze. Then the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can sit on a pin." You don't seem to be too happy with the wolf, does he? No, he doesn't like him. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down stuff. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. But maybe, just maybe, you could loan me a cup of sugar. The end. I love that story. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I want somebody to tell me, what is one of the first things that happened in this story that you remember? Yasmin.
He was making a birthday cake for his grandma.
He was making a birthday cake for his grandma. Good. Okay, so after he's making the birthday cake, somebody, I want you to just retell to me, what did he do, Damien? What was next?
We were talking about making cake and using shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it was like when they had thought he was like a little like mean or something.
Okay, so he was going to make a birthday cake, and then he found out that he needed a cup of sugar, right? So we have the birthday cake, and so what was he going to do? What did he do to go find sugar?
He went home to a neighbor.
Good, so he was making his cake, he said, "I need some sugar," so he went to his neighbor's house, right? Okay, what happened after that? Let's think about the main points. Tiana, give me one.
He went to the first big house and
What happened there?
sugar, and he did a big sneeze and blew his house down, and he ate.
Then he ate the pig. He did. All right. Good. All right. What happened next?
He was going to the second pig house. He went on the doorbell, and pig said, he was shaking it 10, 10, 10. And his sneeze was coming on. He had to blow the house down, and he was just saying, you can leave the pig out there alone. So he ate it.
Good. Yeah. He was shaving his chin, chin, chin. He went to the second pig's house, and then he's going to sneeze it down, and the pig was dead. All right. What's the third thing? What happened after that? Jonathan, you want to tell me?
He went to the other pig's house that was made out of bricks.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked for a cup of sugar and the pig said, "Get away from him." And then as soon as he was about to walk home, it said, the pig said his grandma could sit on the pin too. And the wolf tried to had a sneeze coming on and kept trying to sneeze down the door. And the cops came.
The cops came. So he went to the third pig's house thinking, I'm going to get my cup of sugar. And then all of a sudden, when he huffed and puffed, it didn't blow his house down, did it? No. And so after that, little Mr. Pig, the third one, got pretty mad. And he said, "You need to go away and your granny can sit on a pin." He was ticked, and the wolf was not expecting that at all, was he? No. And so the wolf got really mad, and he started huffing and puffing and trying to knock the house down. And just like Jonathan said, what happened? Who came? Cops. Right. And at the end of the story, Did somebody catch who else came? The cops came, and who else came? Do you know? I'll show you this picture to help you. Who else came? Who? Good, the news reporters came too. And what did they do? They took a picture of him. And what did he say? Do you remember what he said? When he said they came and he talked about it at the end. And he says, so they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. What is he really saying? Skylar? They framed him. They did. And you know what's funny? I'm sure you guys have heard this. What story is this just like? It's the what? It's the story about the 3 little pigs. And this is obviously from his point of view. And so he's saying that when the news reporters came, what is he saying? He's saying, that's not really what happened. They twisted my story, right? Is that what he's saying? Right. Okay. So this is what we're going to do next with our story. So you guys just told me a lot of the main events. You told me the basic points about the story. And when we're talking about the main events, like main events are things that happened in the story that wouldn't make sense if they weren't there. You know? So what we're going to do is I want you all, you can just pair yourself at your tables in 2 or 3. So y'all are sitting there. So just pick whoever you want to be a partner. You can have groups of 3. But I want you to work at your tables. Okay? And this is what we're going to do. I'm going to list. I need somebody to help me. So I'm going to list the events that we just talked about, okay? So first, what happened in the story?
He was doing the favor for your good one.
What was he doing?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to write them in little bullets because what we're going to do after this. I'm going to have you guys work with this in a second. So the wolf made a cake, right? What happened after that? He needed a cup of sugar. Okay, so he left, right? Okay. All right. Somebody else just call out for me. What did he do after that? What did he need to do? Or where did he go? Okay, so I'm just going to put first pig's house. Does everyone understand what that means? I'll put it up there like that. Yes. Okay, what happened in the first pig's house? Okay, is it important though? What happened when he was at the first pig's house? And what happened at the house? Did it fell, right? So he blew the house down. I'm just going to put that. All right. Then we had our second pig, right? Second pig. And then what happened in the second pig's house? House blown down. There's a reason they're doing this. All right. And then who was he off to? Whose house? The third pig. Good. Third pig. I'll move you just in. All right. And at the third pig's house, what happened? Okay. And then what though? Did it blow down? No. Okay. So I'm going to put his house stood. And when I say his, I'm talking about the third pig. Okay. I'm going to finish this over here. All right. And so what happened after that? Jonathan had mentioned it. Jonathan, what was it? Who came?
The cops.
Okay. So the cops show up. The cops arrive at the house. And who does what at the end? What does the news reporter do? Good. So I'm going to put news reporter frames the wolf. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. You should. Does everyone know what partner you're going to work with? Just pick a partner at your table. Okay. And this is what we're going to do. Each set of are y'all working as a triad? 3 people.
Why don't you go work here with
Oh yeah. Yes. And you 3 can work together. Okay. All right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm passing out a sheet of paper to each of you all. There you go. And what we're going to do is, we're going to actually, I'm going to have you all write down one sentence about an event in the story. So, for the very first one, where it says wolf made a cake, I want this group, what you're going to do, alright, this is how we're going to do it. What you're going to do is, I'm going to tell each group or each partner pair one of these little bullet points from the story, okay? And what you're going to have to do is I just want you to write one sentence describing your event. So, I'll say for where it says left to get sugar, so whoever gets that, you'll get an example. You would say, the wolf needed sugar for his granny's birthday cake, so he left to get some, period. Something like that, okay? And so for your own event, you're going to write down your one sentence, okay? And so I want you and your partner to write it really big on your sheet of paper, because we're going to do something with them afterwards, so that you have to see them, okay? So, who wants wolf made a cake? Alright, Yasmin, you and your partner can have wolf made cake. Alright, so you have to just write one sentence describing what happened. Left to get sugar. Damien, alright, Damien and Adrian can have that one. First pig's house. You guys want that? Okay. Blew the house down. Y'all want that? Okay. Second pig. Go ahead. Y'all can have it. So you all are writing about the second pig, okay? And you can talk amongst yourselves and talk about it. House blew down. How many groups I have left? Who doesn't have something? 1, 2, 3. 3? Okay. Who has the second pig? Damien?
Tamaya has the second pig.
Tamaya. Do you all want to write? I'm going to let you do 2 of them, okay? So you're going to write about the second pig and how his house blew down. Okay? Alright, so I'll give you both those. Alright, who wants the third pig and what happened at his house? Carolyn, you all want that? Okay. And then, at last, how many groups do I have left? I thought I gave you all one. Okay. Well then, I have 3 left. Okay, well then let's just do this. Where's my third pig group? Carolyn, okay, y'all just write about what happened at the third pig's house before he came. And you all can write about what happened at his house. Like how it stood. Okay? Tiana. Y'all group can have this one. Is that okay? Yes. Okay. Tori, you all can have the cops arrive. What happened when they arrived. Okay? And in this group, you'll have the news reporter Frank Wolf. Okay? And I want you to write your sentence really big about what happened during these events. And if you get done quickly, I want you to draw a quick picture of it too. Okay? So y'all can go ahead and get started.
Ivory Jones, please report to your classroom.
You're going to write just one sentence about what happened. And I'm going to tell you that after you do all these, we're going to get up and we're going to put them in order. So you want to make sure that they're big enough and that they make sense. Your sentences make sense, okay? Okay, so you're going to write your sentence really big so that everyone can see it. That's right. when you're writing your sentence or you're drawing your picture, you can think about your event that happened in the story and maybe what the pictures look like in the story. You need the book? Okay. You can try your own if it have to look just like the book. That's the fun part. You can. After you're done writing your sentence and drawing your picture, I want you to write your group members' names just on the bottom of your sheet, or your pairs' names. Okay? So you two would write Amaya and at the bottom of it. Okay? Yeah. It helps people understand what happened in your part of the story. I'm going to give you about 3 more minutes to finish up, okay? I know it's quick, but 3 or 2 more minutes to finish up, and then we're going to, if you can't think of anything at all, then you just drop a cup of sugar. Yeah, you're right. All right, about 2 more minutes, okay? Alright, we're finishing up our drawings. They don't have to be perfect. It's okay. You can turn the book back. You can draw a house if you want. Yes, that's fine. Draw whatever you want. That describes your event. Once you're finished, I want you to write your names on the bottom or the back of the paper. Write your names. You're done? If we have to finish up our drawings later, we can do that. Okay. Alright, this is what we're going to do. I know some of you may not be done with your drawings, but that's okay, because we will have time later to maybe finish them after. So this is what I want us to do. Alright, if you had an event, if you had the wolf made a cave, or if you had something that happened at the beginning of the story, I want you and your partner to stand up and go stand by that whiteboard. If you think, you can use our board as a cheat. So if you had the wolf made a cake and he left to get sugar, I want you to go stand by that board with your piece of paper. Okay? Whose event happened next? So we just said the wolf made a cake and he left to get sugar. If you're next, I want you to go up after them. And guys, listen up real quick. Everybody freeze and look at me. Amen. Freeze and look at me. When you stand up there, if you don't know where your spot comes, this is where you're going to have to talk with the people around you to figure out whose event happened first in the story. Okay? And now, when you're up there, you should be in an order that's a sequential order. So that when we read these off, you're going to tell the story in the right order. Alright? So we have the first pig's house, then would the house go? Second pig, Ruth, go stand up there. Y'all can go ahead. Third pig's house. Third pig in his house. Cock. Then the news reporter. I want you to check with the people. Check with everyone beside you and make sure that you're all in order. And when you have your paper, I want you to hold it like this, so I can see it. Just like this. When you have your paper, I want you to hold it like this so I can see it. I'll give you a minute to put yourself in order. Does everyone feel like you're in the right spot? No? Okay, well check the people around you. Go talk to people. If you think that you're in the wrong order, go talk. Yes. If you had your story, if your event was at the beginning, you're over here. Then it goes from the middle, and the very last thing that happened in the story should be right where you all are. The very last thing that happened in the story, your group should be over here. Right? You got two? Okay. Alright. So here's what we're going to do. All eyes on me. And all voices off. All eyes on me. You can draw your pictures after. This is what we're going to do, okay? So, we're going to start. Let me just tell you again. This is the beginning of the story. And as we read it, we're going to hear if you all put the events and you line yourselves up in the right way, okay? You just made a human timeline. That's what this is called, a human story, okay? So we're going to start, and the person who's holding the paper, I want you to read your sentence loud enough so everyone can hear, okay? So we're going to see if it's in order. Are y'all ready? Yes? All right, go ahead.
A wolf was making a cake for his baby.
The wolf needs some sugar to make his grandmother cake, so he went to the first pig house to get some because he wanted to lose weight.
Okay.
The wolf went to the first pig house to get some sugar for the grandmother's cake.
Okay, so
The wolf had a big sneeze and blew the house. The pig out.
all right.
The wolf went to the second pig house, and then the wolf had a long down there. The wolf said that he went home and then he sneezed.
All right, let's sum that up in one short
A
sentence.
great big sneeze.
Good. Okay, so sum that up for me. So the wolf, what? Like 3 words. The wolf went where? Good. And he did what?
He had sneezed and he had blew the pig house down.
Oh, Listen up.
The wolf went to the third pig house and the pig said get away.
Okay, so what happened next?
The wolf tried to blow the house down, but his house stood.
When the cops came,
Excuse me, teachers and students, for this interruption. If you park near the dumpster in the back of the building, we ask you to please back your vehicle up some. Again, they're getting ready to cut the grass at the back now. And if you parked near the dumpster, please back your vehicle up some to prevent damage. Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
they had took him to jail because they found out that he had the two pigs for dinner.
Okay, wait. Say that again. Say it a little bit louder. I didn't hear you. I'm
When the
sorry.
cops came, they had took him to jail because they found out that the wolf had ate two big pigs for dinner.
All right, and then what happened last? Where's your papers?
They only had one sheet, but they had
Oh,
two questions.
I'm so sorry.
So the question, both are written on the same sheet.
Oh, I'm
just one
sorry.
at the beginning, one at the end.
I didn't realize that. All right, well, tell me what happened anyways. What y'all wrote?
The news reporter had framed him, see, then he got on the newspaper,
Then he got on the newspaper and he was known as the what?
Big Bell Wolf.
Good. All right, everybody go like this. Y'all did a great job. All right, make sure, I want everybody to make sure that you have your name and your partner's names written on the bottom of your page. And when you do, I want you to come hand your paper to me and go have a seat at your desk. And get out your pencil. Just in case you run out. Thank you.